Hi there. Well, today's video is going to be all about my custom Z palette. I've been meaning to do a video on this for a little while, so I'm really excited to be talking to you about this today and just to share with you a little bit more about the palette and how I customized it for myself. So obviously mine is in the color black and this is size medium. I did purchase mine from Amazon and I will put that link down below. It was about $15 and change. Originally I ordered the large size palette, but when I got it, I felt like it was just a little bit too big for the amount of shadows that I wanted to put into mine. There's a lot of extra space left over. And I think that for me, that would have been a good size to depot blushes, which I considered doing, and I decided not to do that right now because I really just wanted to focus on a custom eyeshadow palette. So I returned that one and exchanged it for this size medium. There are other sizes available. There's also an extra large, there's a small, there's a mini. The small would be maybe a little bit more like what you would expect from a MAC palette, maybe about a third to a half of this size, so it would fit quite a few less shadows. So I think that would be great for me for travel, but for everyday, for the shadows that I want to keep in here, I felt like the medium was really a perfect size. So I'm going to go ahead and go over a little bit more about the palette and what I have inside. So if you're not familiar with a Z palette, it is a fully customizable empty palette that you can put all of your favorite eyeshadows into. So it just has a flip top opening like this. The lid is clear so that you can see everything down inside. And then the base here of the palette is magnetized. They also include a little packet of these magnetic sticky they're like little magnets, and then they have a sticky side to them so you can peel this backing off, stick them to the back of the shadow, and then place them into your palette to hold them secure. And they do offer you quite a few of these inside the palette. And let's see, I've got some of the ones here. So they come in like in a little square size and a little round size. So if the shadows that you have aren't already magnetized, if you're depotting them from a palette, you can just stick these right on the back and then just pop them into your palette. So you can really put any shadow in here that you'd like. Now, as far as depotting the shadows, there's plenty of videos on YouTube about that, so I'm not going to go into it, but you do have to be a little bit careful, especially when you're removing something from a palette. If you're buying MAC singles, that's a little bit easier, especially just the refill pans. But it is a little bit tricky. I was able to get all of these in here with a lot of help from my husband, and I just went over some of the videos I'd seen in the past, so I sort of used that information and did them very carefully. And some of it was just a matter of taking an X-Acto knife and being really careful and sort of cutting around the edges and then just using a little bit of leverage to pop them out. Nothing really special. And then some of the others did require heat. So I do have 15 eyeshadows in here, and I do have it written down what I have so I just won't miss out on anything. So there are 4 MAC eyeshadows, 7 Laura Mercier, 1 Makeup Forever, 2 Bobbi Brown, and 1 Urban Decay. Now, one caveat with the Laura Mercier shadows is these were all ones right across here that I depotted from the Laura Mercier Artist Palette. So her normal singles are going to be this size down here, which is Laura Mercier Cashmere. So these are a little bit smaller. So I don't want you to think that you can fit maybe all of these in combination, but just happen to be the ones that I had in the particular sizes that I had. So now I'm going to go ahead and just pop in a picture for you here in a little bit of video, and I'm going to go through all of the colors for you so you can see exactly what I have in here. I have a really nice combination of highlight shades, I've got transition shades, I've got lid shades, and liner shades. So for me, this is a really good combination of everything that I could want to wear for most day and nighttime neutral looks, which is what I am always really drawn to. The first thing I wanted to show you here is a comparison between the Medium Z palette and a MAC Quad, just so you can get an idea of the size of it. So as you can see with the MAC Quad, you can fit in 4 eyeshadows, and then as I mentioned, I have 15 eyeshadows in the Medium Z palette. Now, taking a look inside my Z palette, I'm going to show you what I have and how I have it arranged. So I've got my 4 highlight shades up there in the top left corner. I've got my transition shades around the center. Then I've got a few different options for lid shades. And then I have some crease shade options. And then finally at the far right, I have what I use as my liner shades or outer V definition shades. Now I'm going to go over each one of them individually so I can show you the names and the finishes. Starting in the top left corner, I have a highlight shade which is MAC Mylar. This is a satin finish. Next to that is MAC Shroom, which is also a satin finish. Then I have Urban Decay Naked, which is a favorite longtime transition shade, which is also matte. Next to that is MAC Mystery, which is also a matte shade. And then finally I have MAC Carbon, which is a great dark liner shade. Moving to the middle, I have Laura Mercier. This is Vanilla Nuts, and that is a matte shade. Next to that is Sparkling Dew, which is a sateen shade, great for that very upper highlight. Then next to that is Fresco, which is a matte color. And then you can see a much loved lid shade, that is Laura Mercier Bamboo, which is luster finish. Next to that is Truffle, also Laura Mercier in a matte finish. And then finally at the end, another favorite liner shade is Espresso Bean, Laura Mercier in a matte finish. Also in the bottom left corner here, this is also Laura Mercier. This is the color Cashmere. That's a nude transition shade that I mentioned in my favorites video that I'm loving right now. Next to that is Makeup Forever number M548. And then this is a long time love. This is Bobbi Brown Slate. This has been a favorite of mine for years. It's a matte finish. And then next to that is another longtime favorite. That is Bobbi Brown Espresso in matte finish. So of those 15 shadows that I just showed you, I've broken it down into how I would consider the shades. So I've got 4 highlights, 3 lid shades, 2 crease shades, 3 transition shades, and 3 liner shades. So hopefully that gave you a little bit better idea about the Z palette and what you can expect and how you can customize it for yourself. I am really pleased with mine. It's just really, for me, a perfect palette. I like that way that I have it arranged from the highlighter shades through transitions and then lids and more darker ones here on the end. But you can just change this around. You can pop them in and out. It is so easy to add them or remove them once you've got your palette made. And it's just a lot of fun to work with. I think I am going to go ahead and get a small size palette so that I can pop some of these in for travel. I don't really want to take all of them with me. I want something smaller, and I really don't want to risk breaking any of this shadow collection because it is like all of my most precious shadows all in one place. So I hope that you found this video helpful. I thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you very soon. Bye-bye.